Around the world, there are a variety of different ways that a running count can be tracked. An example of this has to do with tally marks, but even then, there are a few ways of recording them. One such system is to draw 4 lines, going from left to right, with the 5th line slashing through them. Another system is through the drawing of a box, starting with the left edge and going in a clockwise direction with the 5th line slashing through the box. Yet another system is the Mahjong, which creates the Chinese character of the same name once all of the marks have been placed. As long as people are able to read and understand it, the tracking system has served its purpose. Greetings and welcome back to Checkpoint Gaming, Mahjong. With this episode, we will be going over scoring that occurs within the game. With scoring within Mahjong, it involves the collection of points, sometimes with a monetary value attached to it, although some variants are played without scoring. And though the game mechanics are basically the same, regardless of the variant being played, the greatest difference is found within the scoring system that is being used. When it comes to that of points, they are obtained through the matching of winning hands along with different criteria, scoring different values, and depending upon the version being played, the terminology for points will vary. With the points that a player obtains, they can be modified into scores for each player by using some form of function, with some criteria being used for both points and score. Some versions will see the dealer not receive any score bonuses, and they will not maintain their turn if they win or a dead hand is to occur. Unless it is stated otherwise, all players are to score points with points being given for sets as well as hand composition and winning bonuses. Doubles and redoubles are also to occur when it comes to that of basic patterns. For this series, we'll be starting off with the Hong Kong scoring system, which is relatively simple, though we'll touch upon some other scoring systems as well. There can only be one winner, but if there is a draw, then the hand is to be replayed. But with some variants, such as American Mahjong, if multiple people declare Mahjong after a discard, then the player found closest to the discarding player is deemed the winner. The winner will have to possess a legal hand that meets the minimum points that were agreed upon before play begins, excluding any bonus points when performing this given tally. When scoring, only the winner will do so with the other players paying the winner various sums. So the winning hand is to be scored by totaling the point value of each element found in their hand. With the points, they're determined by 1, the individual melds the player possesses, 2, the composition of the entire hand, 3, how the player won the hand, 4, any bonus tiles the player possesses, 5, any special patterns, and 6, a few other criteria. In order for a player to win, they'll have to achieve a minimum point value that was agreed upon beforehand, which is typically that of 3. With that said, bonus tiles, along with a few other elements, are not to be included in this minimum point value a player needs to achieve in order to create a legal winning hand. Although the bonus points aren't included as part of the minimum points needed to win a hand, they still count towards the overall scoring of the hand. With the bonus points, they're scored separately from the minimum points a player needs to win. With the other players, they are not to score their hand. After the winner adds up their points, both the points and their bonus points, they will have to be converted into base points. Regarding these base points, they represent how much the winner is to receive from the other players. So the points the winner has obtained is different than the payout they receive. From there, the other players are to pay the winner based upon the following 3 factors. 1, the base points from their hand. 2, if the player won from the wall, which sees the points get doubled. And 3, if the dealer won, which sees the points get doubled. With that of a concealed meld, it consists of a set that doesn't possess any tiles that were taken from the discard. With a concealed hand, it is when the hand only consists of concealed melds. There are also several variants that distinguish between that of a concealed hand, where winning is from the wall, and a semi-concealed hand where the last tile is obtained from the discard. Most variants also have a concealed hand being worth more when it comes to that of scoring. But with Hong Kong Mahjong, it doesn't award points as generously as other variants when it comes to that of concealed melds and hands. With a winning hand, it will have to include the agreed-upon minimum point value. For some basic examples of point scoring, here are some means of doing it. For a Pong or Kong of dragons, it's worth 1 point. With a Pong or Kong of either seat wind or round wind, it's worth 1 point. With all suited, it's worth 1 point. With a common hand, which consists of all chows and a pair of suited tiles, it is worth 1 point. With an all Pong or all Kong hand, which consists of only Pongs or Kongs and a pair, it's worth 3 points. And with a clean hand, which consists of only 1 suit with honors, it's worth 3 points. Since we couldn't leave it at just some basic means of scoring, here are some advanced means as well. With 3 concealed Pongs or Kongs, it is worth 3 points. If they have 3 Kongs, it is worth 3 points. If they have 7 pairs of special patterns, then it is worth 4 points. With a pure hand, that is, a hand consisting of a single suit with no honors, it is worth 7 points. With a little dragon, which consists of 2 Pongs of dragons and a pair of the 3rd dragon, then it is worth 5 points. Finally, we have a little wind, and we don't mean farting. It consists of 3 Pongs of winds and a pair of the 4th wind. With bonus points, although important for the overall score, they don't count towards the minimum point count needed to win. If the player wins through the wall, it is worth 1 bonus point. If the player robs the Kong, then it is worth 1 bonus point. And if the player wins upon the last tile found in the wall, or from its subsequent discard, it is worth 1 bonus point. With bonus points that come from flowers and seasons, they consist of the following. When the player doesn't possess any flower or season tiles in their hand, it is worth 1 point. When the player possesses their own flower, that is the player in that given flower seat, they gain 1 point. When the player possesses their own season, that is the player in that given season seat, they gain 1 point. When the player possesses all 4 flower tiles, they gain 2 points. When the player possesses all 4 season tiles, they gain 2 points. And in the extremely rare situation where the player possesses all of the flower and season tiles, said player will automatically win and will receive the maximum payout. A player will only score bonus points for the flower or season tiles if said player possesses their own respective tile, or if the player possesses all 4 flower and all 4 season tiles. When it comes to that of the losers, they will pay the winner points based upon several criteria and depending upon if the game is being played for fun or for money. With that said, let's see how much flack we get for saying the word loser. The point value of a hand is to be converted into base points, followed by calculating the points that the losers will have to pay the winner. With the table that is used to do this, it is progressive, with the base points being doubled once reaching a certain point target. With what follows, it is a simplified conversion process. With 3 points, it is worth 1 base point. With 4, 5, or 6 points, it is worth 2 base points. With 7, 8, or 9 points, it is worth 4 base points. And with 10 points, it is worth 8 base points, which is the limit that a player is able to achieve. And this is based upon a game that has 3 points being the minimum needed in order to win the round with a legal hand. When it comes to that of paying the winner, the losers will have to give the winner a value that is equal to these base points. With the following special cases, they will result in the base points to be doubled. If the winning player wins the hand through the use of the wall, their base points are doubled. If the winning hand is done through the use of a discarded tile, then the player who discarded said tile is to pay the double amount to the winner. If the winner is the East player, then all of the losers will have to pay double the base points. But if the East player loses, then they are to pay double the base points to the winner. And if any single player is unfortunate enough to have 2 of these criteria apply to them, then they will have to double and then double again the points that they owe to the winner. So Hong Kong Mahjong is basically a payment system based upon doubles and redoubles, where the winning from the wall will grant a greater value to the final payment, and the dealer being rewarded or penalized dependent upon if they win or lose. It also consists of a series of limited hands, and though valuable when it comes to that of scoring, they're very hard to obtain. Since a lot of table rules have a limit upon the amount of points that a winning hand is able to score, full limit hands will score the maximum points that is agreed upon. Table rules will also dictate if these hands are allowed, which ones are to be permitted, and the limit present for scoring. The winner is to receive the scoring limit from each of the other players without any doubling to occur. There are also some limit hands that have to be completely concealed or semi-concealed, which includes the 13 orphans, 4 concealed pongs, a heavenly hand, and an earthly hand, and it is typical for the heavenly hand to be concealed or semi-concealed during the hand. When it comes to that of Dragon Limit's hands and the Great Winds, the table rules will dictate if the hand is that of concealed or if it's not. Some table rules also state that a semi-concealed hand will score a half limit. Some playgroups also play with the Great Flowers rule in place. If a player manages to obtain all 4 flower and all 4 season tiles during the course of the game, then they will instantly win the hand and is to receive the maximum points possible from all of the other players. And with all hands that require pongs to complete, each pong is able to be replaced by its corresponding Kong. With the limited hands, they consist of the following: Heavenly Hand, Earthly Hand, 13 Orphans, Terminals, Pure Green Hand, 9 Gates, Self Triples, All Kongs, Great Winds, and 7 Pairs. If a player scores any of these hands, they will grant the player the maximum number of points that the players agreed upon. With the Heavenly Hand, it is when the dealer draws a winning hand at the beginning of the game. With the Earthly Hand, it is when a player completes a winning hand using the dealer's first discard. It is worth noting that in most variants, this can occur provided that the dealer doesn't draw a Kong. With 13 orphans, it consists of the 1 and 9 tiles of each suit, 1 tile of each wind, 1 tile of each dragon, and 1 extra piece that belongs to those 13 elements. With terminals, it consists of only 1s and 9s. With the Pure Green Hand, it is when the player possesses a hand that consists of all of the green-colored tiles, and these tiles can't possess any color other than green. With 9 gates, it consists of the 1 through 9 tiles of a single suit plus 2 additional 1s and 9s from the same suit. Any 1 extra piece of the same suit is enough to win. This hand will always consist of 4 melds and the eyes. With self-triplets, it consists of 4 concealed pongs plus the eyes. With all Kongs, it consists of all 4 Kongs plus the eyes. With the Great Winds, it consists of a pong that belongs to each wind plus the eyes. And with the 7 pairs, it is a special winning hand that comprises of any 7 pairs or eyes, although this isn't recognized in all versions of the game. With that addressed, there are some other examples of high-scoring hands we'd like to discuss. These consists of all pongs, Kongs, clean hand, mixed suit, pure suit hand, mixed terminals, little dragons, little winds, all honors tiles, great dragons, and win by double Kong. With all pongs touch Kongs, it is when the hand consists of all melds that consists of pongs and or Kongs, and it is worth 3 points. With clean hand, mixed suit, it is when the hand consists of only a single suit and honors tiles, and it is worth 3 points. With a pure suit hand, it is when all of the tiles are of the same suit and it is worth 7 points. With mixed terminals, it is when the hand consists of only 1s and 9s along with honor tiles and it is worth 5 points. With little dragons, it is when the hand consists of 2 pongs of dragons and a pair of the 3rd dragon, and it is worth 5 points. With little winds, it is when the hand consists of 3 pongs of winds and a pair of the 4th wind, and it is worth 6 points. With all honors tiles, it is when a hand consists of only winds and dragons with no suited tiles, and it is worth 10 points. With great dragons, it is a hand that consists of pongs that are of all 3 dragons, and it is worth 8 points. And with win by double Kong, it is a hand where the winning tile is self-picked by obtaining it as a replacement tile after they obtained a 2nd consecutive Kong, and it is worth 9 points. With the British scoring system, it sees the winner calculate their score in a 2-stage process. The first stage consists of the basic score being calculated, with the second stage seeing doubling bonuses being applied. When it comes to that of the other players, they will have to pay the winning player an amount that is based upon the points that were scored, accompanied by certain conditions found within the game. Depending upon how the game came to an end, it will determine how the other players will have to pay points to the winner. If the dealer wins by drawing from the wall, all of the other players will have to pay the winning score times 2. If the dealer wins by picking up a discard from another player, the player who engaged in the discard will pay the winning score times 2, which is then to be doubled. If one of the non-dealer wins by drawing from the wall, all of the other players will have to pay the winner the winning score. But with the dealer, they will pay the winner double the winning score. If the non-dealer wins by picking up a discard from another player, the player who engaged in the discard will pay the winner the winning score times 2. But if the dealer is the discarder, they'll pay the winner the winning score times 2, which is then to be doubled. A variant to the British scoring system, which appears to be from a homebrewed rule system, sees the chow acting as just a means of completing a hand with no scoring value to it. This version also only allows 1 chow to be permitted in a completed Mahjong hand. With scoring in and of itself, the basic score is to be totaled, followed by any bonuses being added to this value. From there, the doubles are to be calculated. When it comes to that of doubling, just add up the number of doubles followed by multiplying said value by the appropriate number. If there is 1 double, then multiply the value by 2. If there are 2 doubles, then multiply the value by 4. If there are 3 doubles, then multiply the value by 8. If there are 4 doubles, then multiply the value by 16. If there are 5 doubles, then multiply the value by 32. If there are 6 doubles, then multiply the value by 64. If there are 7 doubles, then multiply the value by 128. If there are 8 doubles, then multiply the value by 256. There are some special hands that warrant a limited or half-limited score. the scoring of a special hand is to be doubled if the player owns their own season or flower, with no other extra scores being included. And if the player wins by using the last tile found in the wall, it earns the player a limited score. First, each player is to pay the winner the full amount of their score, with the east player always paying out or receiving double. With the remaining players, they will settle their scores by paying the difference between the scores found between them. Again, each player will always pay out or receive double the difference. This means of settling the score is much better than what happened in Billy Shakespeare's play Hamlet, where the eponymous character slays his uncle and stepfather Claudius, who was responsible for killing Hamlet's father, repeating the actions of the 47 Ronin who killed 65 people as a means of honoring their master, or even worse, destroying an entire empire, as seen with what happened to the Khwarezmian Empire, which was destroyed by Genghis Khan because said empire destroyed one of his caravans and killed one of his ambassadors. Since the scoring is able to get pretty high with this system, having a limit present is a good idea. And a special hand will always receive a special score, which is seen with limits and half limits being present with no additions or bonuses being used. If season and flower tiles are being used, they correspond to one of the winds, which has an important scoring element to it. Some sets will also see the seasons and flowers possess a number to them. With the sequence, they consist of the following. 1 is connected with the east wind, the spring season, and the plum. 2 is connected with the south wind, the summer season, and the orchid. 3 is connected with the west wind, the autumn season, and the chrysanthemum. And 4 is connected with the north wind, the winter season, and the bamboo. With the scoring of pongs, if it is that of minor tiles, the player will score 2 points if it's exposed and 4 points if it's concealed. If it is that of major tiles, the player will score 4 points if it's exposed and 8 points if it's concealed. With any wind or dragon tiles, the player will score 4 points if exposed and 8 points if it's concealed. With the scoring of kongs, if it is that of minor tiles, the player will score 8 points if it's exposed and 16 points if it's concealed. If it is that of major tiles, the player will score 16 points if it's exposed and 32 points if it's concealed. With any wind or dragon tiles, the player will score 16 points if exposed and 32 points if it's concealed. With a sparrow's head, if the player possesses any dragons, they'll score 2 points. If the player possesses their own wind, they'll score 2 points. If the player possesses the wind of the round, they'll score 2 points. With any other pairs, they don't count towards scoring. And if the player possesses any season or flower, they'll score 4 points. With the player who won, they'll score 20 points for going Mahjong. If the winning piece they drew was from the wall, they'll score 2 points. And if the player won with no chows, they'll score 10 points. With the doubles that are to be addressed, they're to be applied to all players. If the player possesses a pong or kong with their own wind, a pong or kong with the wind of the round, a pong or kong with any dragon found within it, or their own season or flower in it, then the player will score 1 double. And if the player possesses all 4 seasons or flowers, they score 2 doubles. With the doubles that are to be addressed, they're to be applied to only the winner. If they won with no chows, all simples, all major tiles, or 1 suit and winds or dragons, they score 1 double. But if they possess 1 suit within their hand, then they will score 3 doubles. If they snatch a kong that allows them to go Mahjong, wins with a loose tile, wins with the last tile that is found in the wall, they win with the final discard, or they go out with a concealed, self-drawn hand, then they will score 1 double. If the east player wins without discarding, the winner achieves Mahjong by using the east player's first discard, or if they go Mahjong with the first tile that was drawn from the wall, they receive a limited score. With all of that addressed, there are some variants to this scoring system as well. First is having the winner go out with a minimum of 2 doubles, which includes flowers and seasons. Second is having the winner go out with a minimum of 2 doubles, with flowers and seasons not counting towards the determining of the doubles minimum. Third is beginning each game with a goulash. Fourth is a player possessing a clean or pure hand before going out. Fifth is playing for a special hand only, which sees acceptable hands needing to be clearly defined. And sixth, the game is played for a minimum of 3 doubles. Finally, we'll be looking at an American Mahjong scoring system. With the player who won, they'll be paid the amount that is shown upon the card by all players, except with the following conditions. First has to do with the player who discarded a tile which the winner used to declare Mahjong, thus causing them to pay double the listed amount. Second has to do with the winner picking up a tile themselves from the stack, which allows them to complete the win, or which allows them to exchange the tile for a joker and allowed them to win. This will cause all of the other players to pay the winner double the listed amount. And third, if the winner doesn't possess any jokers within their winning hand, then they'll receive double what is owed them. So with that said, that is what you need to know about scoring in Mahjong. With that taken care of, we can start talking about variants to the game. If you liked this episode, feel free to give it a like, and if you want to stay up to date on any future episodes we upload, go ahead and subscribe. You can also support us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/checkpointgaming. See you in the next episode, and happy gaming.